my channel, and today your questions will finally be answered. So I had posted a video probably a few months ago asking you guys what questions you wanted to know in relationship to hair. So I do want to apologize. I seriously have tried to film this probably about 3 times and something goes wrong. I'm cursed. So hopefully with this time I'm actually able to get this video up to you guys. So I want to apologize. I want to say thank you guys for waiting. So if you're interested to see what questions I answered, stay tuned. So I have my phone here with all of your questions and I'm just gonna kind of jump around. So let's get started. Next question is, can you do a current wash day routine? That one will be coming up hopefully in the new year. I just want to kind of put a disclaimer out that hair videos are probably one of the most difficult ones to film. Not edit, but to film. It takes me a little while to kind of get those out. But I will be working on more hair tutorials come 2016. So if you guys are not subscribed, make sure so you don't miss out. The first question is, do you moisturize your hair while wearing it straight? If so, how do you keep from weighing it down? And how do you preserve your straight hair? So I actually haven't worn my hair very straight lately. It's been a while. I do tend to, when I wash my hair and I moisturize, I just put I put a light oil on it. And typically sometimes I will spritz with water just a little bit, not enough to like have the hair to revert back, but just enough to kind of give it a little bit of moisture and then seal that in with some type of oil. In this case I used, I believe it was black castor oil or jojoba oil, I think. It's over there somewhere. But that's how I moisturize my hair when it is straight. And the way that I maintain it and preserve it is pretty much just wrapping it up at night. I'll kind of wrap it up in a doobie with a satin scarf, and that's the way how I kind of preserve my straight hair to keep it nice and neat. The question is, do you have any tips for maintaining healthy moisturized ends? They also stated that they find that they wear a lot of braid outs, flexi rod sets, but notice that their ends get extremely dry and tangly. One thing that I would really recommend is with your ends, you have to understand that your ends are the oldest and driest part of your hair. So when you're moisturizing or you're leaving like a leave-in conditioner or something like that, definitely give a little bit more attention to your ends, because that's the first thing to end up, you know, kind of going astray. Also, if your ends are looking a little scraggly, make sure that you're trimming them. I actually need to trim none because they looking a hot mess. Next question is, have you used flexi rods during your transition phase? If so, how did you style it? And also, how do you get your roots so straight without heat damage? So this is kind of like a 3-in-1 question. I've only really tried flexi rods about maybe 2 times. And how do I get my roots so straight without heat damage? For the last 4 months or so, I really have been kind of picking and choosing when to use heat, and this is probably the longest I've ever really gone without. I mean, I don't know if you guys have even seen my hair like this in a while, but I really have been picking and choosing when I actually use heat on my hair. If I do flat iron like this, my roots look pretty straight for the most part, but literally when I flat iron this time, it's maybe 1 pass through, and that's it. And everyone's hair is a little different. I don't want to say like go overboard, and keep the heat to a minimum so obviously that you don't have heat damage. Another thing that I would definitely recommend is using some type of heat protectant if you decide to use heat, because you want to give as much love and attention to your hair and also kind of prep the hair properly for heat use. Another question is, what is your routine for nighttime when you have a curly hairstyle? And they also state, and how do you stretch a hairstyle to last longer days? So for me, if I'm wearing my hair in a curlier style at night, I typically do what they call the pineapple method, so I pretty much gather all of the curls and put them up here, and I'll use like a large hair tie. I've even used kind of those stretchy bands that I wear like to the gym, and I'll kind of tie it loosely around. Then I'll take my satin scarf, wrap it around, and then I usually pop a bonnet on top just to kind of help the curls to have a little bit free of movement within the bonnet, but also the ability, if they do happen to rub against something, they're rubbing against satin rather than my cotton. Pretty much with me stretching my hairstyle to last a little bit longer, it depends on a couple of things. One would be the humidity and the weather. 2 would be, you know, how well am I taking care of it? How well am I maintaining it? And then just kind of just everyday activities. You know, are you touching your hair? Or people playing in your hair? Things like that. That's going to determine how long you can actually stretch your particular styles. Next question is, do you recommend a product for edge control? So I don't have a one that I would actually recommend. I'm actually kind of working in between 2 to do kind of a full review and give you guys my idea of which one I like. But the 2 that I'm using, if you guys are interested, is the Hicks Edge Control, and I'm also using the Curls Control Paste. The question is, during your 2 years of transitioning, have you ever wanted to go back to relaxed? And while transitioning, did you use any protective styles such as braids to ease you along your journey? So pretty much, if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that during my transition, I really did not practice, like, you know, protective styles or anything like that. I kind of maintained my hair the way that I'd always done. It was really just about stretching that straighter style as long as I could, making sure that I'm staying with my co-washes, moisturizing, things of that nature. So during those first 2 years, it was kind of like me just winging it. I didn't really have a plan, but I never really had the urge to want to go back to relaxing. I usually only relax once, maybe twice a year, probably for the last 9 years before I actually decided to transition. So it wasn't a really hard thing for me to kind of go through, you know, for me to transition, because literally once a year, you know, I've had that new growth, so I knew how to somewhat work with it. Also, just to kind of answer the rest of the question, I really didn't use protective styles and things like that during that first 2 years of transitioning. Like I said, I was so like a slave to my flat iron and my straight hair, but since then I really have like branched out, and I've definitely seen a big difference in my hair. So I wish that I would have done some of these things that I'm doing now, because my hair would probably be much further along in my journey than it is right now. How often have you used heat throughout your transition, and have you experienced any heat damage? Yes, I used pretty much heat about a year and a half or so into my transitioning. But one thing that I think really helps with me is really stretching as much in between actually using a flat iron. And even then, if I knew that I was going to straighten my hair, I would let my hair air dry. I wouldn't blow dry. So I would kind of like pick and choose what I was going to do as far as with the heat. Anytime you're overly using heat, or you're constantly using heat all the time, you're going to experience some heat damage. And I definitely had some, and I probably still do have some, because I still need to start trimming my hair. So that's one of the things, if you decide to kind of go through a transition with heat, just to be mindful when to use heat, when not to use heat, and if you do use heat, definitely stretch it. Next question is, when you were relaxed, were you a self-relaxer, and what brand did you use? Lie or no lie? When I was relaxed, I actually did get some professionally saloned, you know, processes, but mostly I was a self-relaxer. I would relax myself, and my mom used to relax my hair as well. We always went for the, I believe it was I want to say Optimum Care. It's been like forever. But the Optimum Care was the one that I chose to use, and we would always use a no lie relaxer. So next question is, how often do you clip your relaxed ends? They also stated that they're transitioning from relaxed to Tex-Lax, and they're having the hardest time abstaining from a big chop. So this is probably one of the most difficult things that I still deal with, is actually kind of trimming my ends. I've really been an advocate, or been very strict on myself to actually you know, cut off my relaxed ends, but I would definitely recommend, if it's something that you want to do and you need to do it. I would say every 6 to 8 weeks, I think is a good time to kind of start, you know, slowly trimming your ends. You should always dust your ends, in which I need to do like today. But I do want to say, the girls who actually decide to do a big chop, I commend you. I think that it is awesome. You just get rid of it all from the beginning and you start fresh. So next question is, which products do you love, and which products help maintain moisture between the two textures? So because I am a beauty blogger here on YouTube, I purchase and try so many different products. So I can't really say that I have like, you know, favorites. But one line that I really tend to kind of go back to is the Shea Moisture line. I really love a lot of their products, a lot of their conditioners, hair treatments and things like that are really great. But as far as products that help maintain moisture between the two textures, for me, one that I really love is the Cantu Shea Butter Leave-In Repair Cream, which is that leave-in conditioner. Usually when I wash my hair or co-wash it or whatever, after I'm done, I'll apply that all throughout my hair, and then kind of will comb it through with a wide tooth comb and kind of just let my hair air dry, and really my hair feels pretty good, and it does help to maintain moisture. I even sometimes will do, once I wash my hair, I will put in an oil of some sort. In this case, I'm using a little bit heavier one. I used I believe it was the Jamaican black castor oil, and then I will apply the cream on top of that, and that seems to be really working to help maintain the moisture between the two textures. My next question is, how do you feel about having gray hair at a young age? Do you feel confident with your hair? So just a little bit of a backstory. I have had these gray hairs on my head probably since I was about 14 or 15 years old, and on my mother's side, the women actually gray early. So for me to be, you know, having just this, I think I'm doing pretty good. I get teased about it, obviously in high school, and it was one of those things that I would like try to hide it. I would make sure like I would wear like my hair back a lot. I would never do like a center part like this at all, because definitely you can see it is very pronounced. But as I got older, and really it came with my mom, you know, always letting me know that your hair is beautiful, you know, always getting compliments from people like, oh my gosh, you have beautiful, you know, gray hair. Like, I just kind of like, you know, these people are telling me this for a reason, so it must be true, you know. And it was kind of like me being, you know, coming into my own and being confident. And I think that just comes with anything. Like, if you consider something a flaw, you know, learn how to embrace it. So I feel that, you know, now my gray hair actually adds character. You know, I constantly get women ask me, did you gray your, you know, dye your hair like that? And I'm like, no, this is all hereditary and stress related. So I am very confident about it. I think that, like I said, it adds character to my hair, and, you know, it's a conversation piece all the time. I constantly always get complimented on it. So that's it. That completes this hair Q&A. So if you guys were not able to submit a question and your question was not answered in this video, definitely leave those questions down below. I will leave this video up hopefully for a month-ish, hopefully, and we can kind of do part 2 of, you know, everything that you guys want to know about hair. Also, I would put out there, if you guys have any requests as far as hair tutorials and things like that, definitely put those down below. I would love to hear your ideas, and hopefully your video idea will be on my channel soon. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss the next one. But until next time, you guys, I'll see you soon.